Welcome back, Bears Nation. This is Bears News Fan Report, your number one source for breaking news, exclusive updates, and comprehensive analysis on our beloved Chicago Bears. Today, I'm bringing you something that could fundamentally alter the landscape of our offense heading into next season. And I need you to stay with me all the way through, because the ramifications of what's happening right now at Hollis Hall go deeper than anyone outside the building realizes. You know, there's something electric happening in Chicago right now. We're experiencing one of the most phenomenal seasons we've had in years. The energy around this team is palpable. The excitement is real. And for the first time in a long time, Bears football matters again. But here's the thing about success in the NFL. It comes with difficult decisions. It comes with moments where you have to look at your roster with complete honesty and ask yourself if every single piece is contributing to the ultimate goal of winning a championship. And sometimes the answers you get aren't the ones you were hoping for. I've been covering this team closely, talking to people who understand what's happening behind the scenes, and there's a situation developing that every single Bears fan needs to be aware of. This isn't about panic. This isn't about negativity. This is about understanding the strategic thinking that goes into building a championship-caliber football team. Head coach Ben Johnson came to Chicago with a vision, with a specific philosophy about how he wants this offense to operate. And part of executing that vision means making sure every player fits perfectly into the system he's implementing. When Johnson took over this year, there were certain expectations about how the passing attack would evolve. We all had ideas about which players would benefit most from his innovative offensive schemes, which weapons would emerge as the primary targets for Caleb Williams, and how this aerial attack would take shape. And you know what? Some of those expectations have been met and exceeded, but others haven't materialized quite the way we anticipated, and that's creating some fascinating dynamics as we look ahead to the offseason. Let me take you inside what's been happening with our receiving corps this season. When you look at the production, when you analyze the targets, when you study the film, a clear hierarchy has established itself. Rome Odunze has absolutely exploded onto the scene as the number one weapon in this offense. The rookie has been everything we hoped he would be and more, showing the kind of consistency, route-running precision, and big playability that separates elite receivers from good ones. Caleb Williams has developed incredible chemistry with Odunze, and that connection has become the foundation of our passing game. But here's where things get complicated, and this is what I need you to really pay attention to, because it matters tremendously for the future of this franchise. When you have a receiver emerge as decisively as Odunze has, when you have that clear number one option establishing himself, it forces you to evaluate everyone else on the depth chart through a different lens. You have to ask tough questions about roles, about value, about whether the current configuration gives you the best chance to win championships moving forward. There's been a player on this roster who came to Chicago with high expectations, someone who was supposed to be a cornerstone of this offense, someone who has undeniable talent but hasn't quite fit into Ben Johnson's system the way everyone hoped. I'm talking about a veteran receiver who's been productive in his career, who's shown the ability to be a number one option, but who's been experiencing some challenges this season that have raised serious questions about his long-term future with this organization. The mental errors have been concerning. I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you because you deserve honesty. When you're trying to execute a sophisticated offensive system, like the one Johnson runs, mental mistakes are killers. They destroy drives, they limit opportunities, and they prevent the offense from reaching its full potential. And when those mistakes become a pattern rather than isolated incidents, the coaching staff has to take notice and consider all available options. Now, before I tell you exactly who we're talking about and what the organization is considering, let me give you some additional context. This player turns 29 next year. That's not old by any means, but in the NFL, age matters when you're evaluating trade value and long-term roster construction. The Bears are building around Caleb Williams, who's on a rookie contract and represents our championship window. Every decision has to be made with that timeline in mind, with that window of opportunity guiding the strategic thinking. So here's what's happening, and I want you to hear this directly from me. DJ Moore is being listed as a top trade candidate this upcoming offseason. Yes, you heard that correctly. The player who was supposed to be one of Caleb's primary weapons, the veteran receiver who came here with a proven track record, could be on his way out of Chicago as Ben Johnson looks to reshape this passing attack to better fit his vision. I know that might be shocking to hear, and I understand if you're feeling conflicted about this possibility. Moore is talented, there's no question about that. He spent his first 4 seasons with the Carolina Panthers establishing himself as a productive wideout, recording over 1,000 receiving yards in back-to-back seasons. He was originally selected as a first-round pick, and that pedigree doesn't just disappear. But the reality is that he's been slowing down in the system that the Bears are building, and if Johnson sees that Moore is no longer the right fit, making a trade becomes the logical next step. Let's talk about what this would mean practically for the organization. Trading Moore wouldn't fetch the absolute best draft capital because of his age, but it would still provide valuable assets that could be used to continue building this roster. More importantly, it would open up opportunities for the next man up, whether that's someone already on the roster or a player the Bears target in the upcoming draft. Johnson has shown he's not afraid to make bold moves, and this would certainly qualify as one. Moore has been the subject of trade speculation before, so this isn't coming completely out of left field. League sources have indicated that if the Bears do decide to move on, there would be legitimate interest from multiple teams. And that brings us to an interesting question. Where could Moore land, and which teams make the most sense as potential destinations? Let me walk you through 3 teams that could absolutely roll the dice on acquiring DJ Moore this offseason. First, consider the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I know what you're thinking. The Chiefs have been struggling this year, and they're coming off some tough losses that have people questioning whether their dynasty is over. Patrick Mahomes isn't playing at his MVP level, and that offense needs a spark. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy would benefit tremendously from another receiver who can add versatility and create mismatches. Moore might be on the older side, but he still has the elusiveness and ability to break through defenders that could bring some excitement back to Kansas City. The Pittsburgh Steelers represent another fascinating possibility. Depending on what happens with Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers this offseason, the Steelers could be looking to rebuild their receiving corps. They've got DK Metcalf as their number 1 weapon, but they've never found a true complement to him. With Adam Thielen retiring, there's going to be a significant void in that receiving room. Moore could provide the Steelers with a reliable veteran presence who knows how to produce in this league. And then there's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The outlook for their veteran receivers doesn't look great right now. Mike Evans is approaching retirement. Chris Godwin continues to battle injury problems, and while they've got Emeka Egbuka showing promise, they're going to need additional firepower in that passing attack. Moore could step in and provide immediate production while they continue developing their younger players. Here's my honest assessment of this entire situation. Change is difficult, especially when it involves a player with Moore's talent and track record. But championship organizations make tough decisions when something isn't working optimally. The emergence of Rome Odunze has been one of the best stories of our season, and building around him as the clear number 1 receiver makes strategic sense. If moving Moore allows us to acquire additional draft capital, clear cap space, and create opportunities for other players to step up, then it's a move worth seriously considering. The Bears are in a special position right now. We have a franchise quarterback in Caleb Williams, we have an innovative head coach in Ben Johnson, and we have a roster that's trending in the right direction. Making strategic moves to maximize our championship window isn't about being disloyal to current players, it's about doing what's necessary to bring a Super Bowl back to Chicago. And if that means trading a talented veteran like DJ Moore to teams where he might be a better fit, then that's a decision the organization needs to seriously evaluate. Now I want to hear from you, Bears faithful. Do you think trading DJ Moore is the right move for this organization? Would you be comfortable moving on from him to invest more heavily in building around Rome, Odunze, and Caleb Williams? Which of those three potential destinations makes the most sense for Moore if the Bears do decide to trade him? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, because I genuinely want to know how you're feeling about this potential move. If you found this breakdown valuable and insightful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Bears News Fan Report for daily updates, exclusive analysis, and insider information on your Chicago Bears. Smash that notification bell so you never miss breaking news, because I'm committed to bringing you the most comprehensive coverage of this team anywhere on the platform. Share this video with every Bears fan in your life, because we're building something special here, a community of passionate, informed fans who live and breathe Chicago football. Until next time, Bear down!